In order to launch Xenia Manager on your system, there are two quick things you need installed. One of them is the .NET runtime, and another is Visual C++ redistributions. The link to both these requirements and also the Xenia Manager's GitHub is mentioned in the description below. So after you've downloaded and installed the requirements, you're going to the Xenia Manager's GitHub page. Then you're going to head over here and click on releases, and then you're going to grab the latest Xenia Manager zip file. So before you extract the zip file, make sure you have your game files, DLCs, and title updates organized. For example, as you can see here, I created a folder for each game. If that game has title updates or DLCs, they are within the folder. I just did that to keep things organized, and I recommend you to do the same. So now I'm going to create another folder beside my game folders and name it Xenia Manager. And now I'm gonna extract the zip file's contents into this folder. Now you can open Xenia Manager desktop app. In the first window, you can choose what to install. We've got three options: install Xenia Canary, install Xenia Mousehook, or install Xenia NetPlay. We're going to click on install Xenia Canary and wait for it to install. After the installation is finished, the Xenia asks you to create a profile and name it. So I'm gonna click on create profile and type a gamer tag. After you're done, you can close the Xenia and get back to the Xenia Manager. You want to close the welcome window and go to the settings. Here you can change the manager's theme, enable automatic backup, and if you click on open Xenia installer, you can uninstall or install the things that you saw in the first window. Next, you want to head over to Xenia settings. I would recommend to change some settings before adding games, so you don't have to change them every time you add a new game. For example, under the display settings, I'm going to enable full screen. It's better not to change the internal display resolution because it might mess with the emulation and graphics. I usually turn the letterbox off. You can disable the VSync and turn the frame limiter to 60, and that's not a bad option. Leave the graphics API to any. I usually use anti-aliasing for almost most of my games, so I set it to FXAA by default. Under the general settings, you want to change the license mask to all licenses. If you use a Xbox controller, you want to set the input system to X input, and if you use a PlayStation controller, you want to change that to SDL2. Personally use PS4 controller, and I use the PS4 Windows software, and I have no problems playing games on Xenia. After you're done changing the default settings, you want to click here to save, and remember, if you want to reset your settings, you can just click here to reset, or if you want to edit the settings via the text file, you can click here to do that. Now, finally, we are going to the Home tab and add games. So in order to add games, you need to click on the plus icon and select your game's .ex file or ISO file. The game I chose to play in this tutorial is Gears of War 2. So the first thing we're going to do is to apply the optimal settings for this game. Head over to Xenia settings, click on the drop down menu and choose your game. In my case, it's Gears of War 2. Now we can change the settings for this game. The good news is that the new Xenia Manager has a very nice feature which looks up for the optimized settings in the repository and applies them to that certain game. The only thing that I'm gonna do is to click this cloud icon and wait for Xenia Manager to automatically set the optimized settings. You can also increase the game resolution by increasing the draw resolution scale. If you set this to 2, the render resolution goes from 720p to 4040p. If set to 3, the render resolution goes to 4K. Just keep in mind, increasing the draw resolution scale heavily impacts the GPU and might even cause graphical glitches. After it's done, we're going to save it. Now, before we get into installing the patches, we're going to install DLCs and updates. In order to do that, right-click on the game, select Content, and click on Install DLC/updates. Click on this icon and select your game's title update. Then select Confirm. Now, in order to install patches, you need to right-click on the game, select Patches, and click on Download Patches. Here, I'm going to choose the first one because I just installed the title update version 6. In order to manage patches, right-click on the game, select Patches, and click on Manage Patches. Here, you can enable or disable any patch that you want. Now, after you're done, you can easily open your game and enjoy playing it. There's also another setting that you can change while in game, and that's the post-processing. By hitting the F6 key on your keyboard, you can open the post-processing settings and change it to your ideal settings. For example, I figured that for this game, I'm better off using the normal quality FXAA for anti-aliasing and FSR for resampling and sharpening. You can also change the percentage on FSR sharpness and CAS additional sharpness. Now, on the side note, if you want to install DLCs, just right-click on the game, select Content, and click on Install DLC/updates. Click on this icon and select the DLCs for your game. After you're done, hit Confirm. Now, before we wrap this up, I wanted to talk about the automatic game parsing and selection. Enabling this option makes the Xenia Manager detect games automatically without needing to launch Xenia just to add a game. So it's a small change, but really streamlines the whole process. If you found this guide helpful, feel free to leave a like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Thanks for watching.